How's it going, folks? CR here, and I've been meaning to chime in on this debate for a little bit. Unfortunately, had a lot of things come up these last few weeks, kind of kept me busy, but I still do want to try to chime in, put my 2 cents in on this debate between Jinks and Micheal Anderson. So if I fudge a few facts or get a few things wrong, guys, please let me know. So I do want to start off with the need to use the words as they're properly defined. The thing is, if you're going to have a discussion with somebody, the point of a discussion is to communicate. And when one word means something entirely different to one person as opposed to the other person, well, communication breaks down. There is no effective communication because what one person is saying means something entirely different to another person. And I understand that's being very redundant. One such example is there is a difference between cultural Marxists and liberals, the social liberals, so to speak. Now, I understand that over the last few decades, the words have been getting mixed up and being used interchangeably when they really shouldn't be. And so it's kind of hard to tell, like when you hear the word social liberal sometimes, are they talking about a social liberal or are they talking about a cultural Marxist? Same is true for, say, a cultural Marxist. Another such example is the misuse of the word racist. There's been a certain segment of the population who call people racist simply because they don't agree with them. And they have been for quite some time. One such negative consequence that came out of it, I know I've spoken about this in previous videos when the alt-right first came out, or at least when I first heard of the alt-right, I did not believe they were actually racially discriminatory or anything like that. I thought they were just maybe some people who were more right-leaning but were more upset with the Republican Party. When people were calling them racist, I didn't really buy into this. Now, I didn't actually go and look up what the alt-right was actually saying at the time either. It wasn't until later on when I did take a little bit of a glance into them, and I thought, yeah, okay, these people are somewhat racially discriminatory in certain senses. It varies, just depending on which person in the alt-right you're talking about. But again, I mean, this is kind of one of those boy who cried wolf situations. The reason why I bring this up is because I get the distinct feeling that somebody was implying that Jinks was a cultural Marxist. Now, I've had plenty of discussions with Jinks in private, enough to know that the man is not a cultural Marxist. Furthermore, if you look at some of his videos, you can actually see that he does stand up to a lot of the insanity that the authoritarian left, or the social justice left, or, the cultural Marxist put out. Just because Jinks is in favor of gay marriage does not make him a cultural Marxist. While cultural Marxists tend to be in favor of gay marriage, they don't own the issue. There are a lot of people who are in favor of gay marriage that are not cultural Marxist. The way I see this is a free country. If somebody chooses to marry another person, as long as these are two consenting adults, then there shouldn't be an issue. I understand that there are people that believe that gay marriage is destroying the family unit. I can assure you it's not. There are a lot of other things that are destroying the family unit that are not gay marriage. But here's how you can tell family units are not being destroyed by gay marriage. Ask yourself this: if gay marriage was made the only form of marriage that was legal tomorrow, are you going to marry somebody of the same sex just to get married? I'm going to go out on a limb and guess that you're not. I know if straight marriage was made illegal tomorrow, I'm certainly not going to marry somebody of the same sex myself just to be married. So why do you think that this is going to encourage homosexuals to start a family with somebody of the opposite sex? It's simply not. You want to talk about marriage being a religious institution? Well, the second the state took on the power to issue out marriage licenses and things of that nature, well, marriage ceased to be solely a religious institution. Now, I understand that there are some churches that recognize marriage and some that don't. However, it does not follow that governments play by the same rules as the church. In fact, we do have a separation of church and state for a number of reasons, one of which being that if you don't separate church and state, you're not going to get a religious state. What you're going to get is a political religion come out of that, and I assure you, you do not want that. Furthermore, what do you have to gain from banning gay marriage? I can't think of anything you'd have to gain. I can't think of anything your political circles would have to gain, and I can't think of anything the country would have to gain from banning gay marriage. I can, however, see you making enemies with people for banning gay marriage. The people that wanted to get married but now can't because gay marriage is banned. And those who sympathize with them are going to look and find all the entities that championed the ban on gay marriage, and they're probably going to want some payback. They're probably going to want to get gay marriage legalized again, and then they're probably going to want to pay you back for getting gay marriage banned. That's just the fact of life. So again, this is another reason why proposing banning gay marriage, championing the ban of gay marriage, and so on and so forth, is it's stupid. There's nothing to be gained from it except for enemies. As for the topic of drugs, well, we have a prohibition on some drugs in this country, and like the prohibition on alcohol, all it served to do is create a black market, as well as turn people into criminals who should not have been turned into criminals. The fact of the matter is that this is a free country, and even though the choice that a person may make might be a very bad choice to themselves or a detrimental choice to themselves, as long as they're not infringing on other people, then it's really none of our business to tell them that they can't make that choice. So, simply put, I don't think that drugs should be illegal. What you put in your body is your own choice, even if that choice is a bad choice. And pretty much everything I said on drugs reigns true for prostitution as well. Even if you do not value the freedom to marry who you choose, even if that person's a member of the same sex, or you don't value the freedom to choose what you consume, or value the freedom to having a prostitute should you choose, it doesn't mean we should prohibit those things either. Other people probably do value those things. Hence why you have a black market for drugs and prostitution to begin with. And hence why you have, after the ban on gay marriage was lifted, you have homosexual couples getting married. Furthermore, I don't think our founders would have any problem with any of those things being legal that I just mentioned. Our founders actually were very much so in favor of very limited government and maximum personal freedom. Now, I know Jinks had brought up the Bill of Rights, and it was from a conversation we had, and I noticed he said the first 5 amendments, Jinks, and if I said that in the conversation, the first 5, I apologize, it's actually the first 10, but it's the first 10 that are the Bill of Rights. So a basic history course is, after we'd gotten our independence from Great Britain, we established what was known as the Articles of Confederation. We noticed that there were a lot of issues with the Articles of Confederation, so our founders had a convention to make some changes to the government. At that point, there were 2 factions, 2 main factions in this. The Federalists, such as Alexander Hamilton, and the Anti-Federalists, such as Thomas Jefferson. The Federalists wanted a more centralized government, and the Anti-Federalists did not. Now, the Federalists did outnumber the Anti-Federalists a bit, so when they came up with the Constitution, in order for the Federalists to sign up, the Anti-Federalists to sign on to the Constitution, they wanted the Bill of Rights attached to the Constitution. So, with that being said, it was the minority party that got the Bill of Rights attached. And Jinks is very correct when I said that, yes, these are the first freedoms that tyrannical, despotic, you name it, unjust governments come for. Invariably. Tyrants don't like it when you publish things that go against their narrative. They don't like people speaking out against them. They certainly don't want their political opponents to be able to assemble peacefully, even. They don't want their political opponents to have the means to protect themselves. They do not want their political opponents to be able to have trial by juries. They most certainly want to be able to impose a heavier sentence on their political opponents than they would, say, the allies to their regime. There is a reason why the Bill of Rights was chosen as it was. Today, we have entities that are actively seeking and sometimes successfully infringing on liberties protected by our Bill of Rights. Why this doesn't concern more people, I don't know, other than people have gotten complacent or people are more focused on things they should not be focused on. And one of those things is the use of one form of authoritarianism to fight another form of authoritarianism. And I suppose you could do that, but the problem with that is at the end of the day, you're going to be stuck with whatever form of authoritarianism wins, and it's going to leave you with a lot less freedom. Now, is that what you really want? I would hope the answer to that question would be no. I happen to actually like having the freedom to make the choices I want to make with my life with minimal government interference, if any, as opposed to controlling people I don't like or banning choices in life that I don't approve of. And the fact of the matter is that we are seeing way too many people nowadays who seem more concerned with controlling other people's choices in life than they are with their own freedom. And that's only going to lead to a worse society for more people. Sure, I mean, things like socialism, fascism, I mean, they're great if you're the one in charge. But for everyone else, I mean, it's really not so great. And I hope this would be common ground that conservatives, liberals, libertarians, and so on could come together on. If not, we are going to end up losing our freedom. It's just plain and simple. Well, this is about all I have to say on this for now. Thank you all for listening. Y'all take it easy. Have a great day.